Hey friends, it's Missy again. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'm here with a new layout just for fun, and I'm going to be using the new Color Kaleidoscope collection from Vicki Boutin. I finally got my hands on a lot of it, and I am just so excited to make a layout just for the heck of it. And I spent lots of time oohing and awing over these beautiful stickers and chipboard stickers and die cuts. And I'm going to scrapbook a black and white photo of my daughter, and I was pulled toward this little number sticker sheet. There's like a little sticker book in the collection, and I don't know, these numbers just jumped out at me. I haven't used numbers on a layout in a really long time, and I loved the different sizes and styles and all the colors. And so I'm going to take a lot of these number stickers here and just stick them to a scrap piece of white cardstock, and then I'm going to fussy cut them out so I can kind of make them a little bit thicker than just a plain sticker, and this way they're not sticky anymore. I can just move them around the page, kind of like an embellishment or a die cut, and kind of play around with it. And I'm not really sure what I'm going to do at this point. I just want to use these numbers. And this layout turns out to be kind of bold and bright and kind of random, I guess you could say, but I was just in the mood to make it, and I did, and so here we go. I'm going to use white cardstock as my background, and you can see there on the left, I pulled out a ton of my gelatos. I was just in the mood to scribble and smudge, so that's what I'm going to do. And for that to happen easily and the way I want it to, I'm going to use some clear gesso first. And I thought I hit record, so you missed me applying the pink, but you're going to see plenty of this technique here of how I did this, so you didn't miss but just a few seconds. All I'm doing with the gelatos, if you've never used gelatos, I call them a cross between a crayon and lipstick. They smudge on really, really great, and they activate with water really nicely. You can also use them dry and just, you know, use your finger or a foam blending tool type of thing to smudge it around. I love to add water and just kind of do what I'm doing here. So I use a couple of different shades of pink and then a purple first, and then I come in with kind of like a turquoise and then an aqua, and I'm just dabbing my brush into my water there and kind of blending and smudging. I wanted my photo to go on the bottom right hand side of the page since her head is tilted up and she's looking toward the left. And so I kind of like to have my subjects and my pictures looking across or down or up, depending on the way they're looking. I want them situated in a certain spot on my background so it looks like they're looking at something. So I'm going with my favorite three colors, which are blues, pinks, and yellows, and I'm just making this bold smudge of watercolor here. And I'm going to try these out. These are not the Vicki Boutin ones, but these are the Jane Davenport watercolor markers, and I got them a couple weeks ago at Michael's because all of the Jane Davenport stuff was on clearance, and they were 50% off, I think, maybe more. But I just hadn't tried them yet, and I thought, you know what? I haven't bought anything from Michael's in a while. I'm going to give these a shot. And they are very bold and very concentrated. I only used them I think I used the aqua one and then the pink one. The pink one was way too pink. It was almost like neon, and so I covered it up. But the aqua one is beautiful. And yeah, a little bit of that stuff goes a long way. So I'm going to keep using the gelatos and just keep adding water, using my brush, dabbing some up, letting it run and blend. I just want all these three colors really popping behind the photo. I decided to go with a darker blue color over in the one spot that's left open there to the right. But it's not going to be too bold. But yeah, this was fun. I really enjoyed doing this with the gelatos, and I could just spend way too much time making a background. I know most of my layouts here, when I get going, I lose track of how much time I spend making a background. And so anyway, you can kind of see the idea here. I love how that looks, and it looks really cool once I put the photo back on top of it. Oh, apparently I'm not done. I do go for some of my shimmer sprays just to add a little bit of different color variations I grabbed, I think that was Spritz Ruby that I'm using there. I'm going to use that to add some splatters. And then I'm going to go with my Oh Say Can You See for an aqua color, and then mustard seed for the yellow. And these are great. You know, I love my shimmers. I use them pretty much on everything I ever make, and I like to mix and match. I like to use the gelatos. I like to mix and match that with, you know, acrylics or the shimmers, anything at all. It's just fun to use different things. So I drew some of the pink gelatos on my little acrylic stamping block there and watered it down, and use my brush to use that for some splatters also. So I think my background is done. We'll see. You know me, I'll probably come back to it, but I'm adding some tissue paper and some adhesive foam behind my picture there. I know I want to raise it up, and like I said, I'm going to situate the photo there on the right, and I just kind of had this idea of all these random numbers kind of over on the left. So I'm going to just sort of put them together kind of like a puzzle, just big numbers, little numbers. Some of them are spelled out, and I do use more than one number. Like I'll use the 3 more than once, because there are 2 different styles of each number on that sticker sheet. And this little Say Cheese piece, I hadn't planned on using it, but it fit really, really well in between the 1 and the 5. I love how that looks, and I love that it's black because it pulls some black from the photo up there in that area. So I'm going to very lightly stick down all of these numbers because I don't want to move them. I like the orientation that they are, and if I scoot them off the page, I'll never get them back like I want them. So I'm going to very lightly glue those down. Okay, now here's where we get crazy. Brace yourselves, right? I just start ripping and tearing. I was in the mood to rip and tear and make this kind of, it's not necessarily grungy, but I just wanted to do some different things on this. So what I did was I just tore off a chunk of the white cardstock, and then I want to use some more of the Vicki Boutin pattern papers to layer over on the left side. So I just play around with a couple different papers, and there were a lot that I was really drawn to. I was also drawn to those really cute banner die cuts, and I am going to use a couple of those. So I'm going to go with this black and white diamond design paper, and then this distressed deep aqua paper. And I'm going to rip and tear this one too. Use my little distressed tool there to really rough up the edges. And I like how that looks. It's fun. It's different. Like I said, I was just in the mood to do something different, and sometimes I like to just go bold, and I like to tear and make things uneven and messy. And so I just kind of went for it, you know? I didn't, like I said, I don't even know what drew me to the numbers, because I don't really tend to use numbers a lot. I don't think I do. But I don't know, they just jumped out at me, and I thought I'm going to use those as a, you know, a design element. And these banners are so cute. There's some in the die cut pack, and there's some on the chipboard sheet. I'm going to use those 3 banners. And again, there's no reason to put banners on this layout, but who cares? I thought they were cute. And like I said, we're going kind of random here for this page. Sometimes it's fun to just pick stuff out and use it because you like the way it looks. It doesn't necessarily have to match a certain theme. If it's the right color, it's okay if you want to use it. You know, there's no right or wrong way to do a scrapbook layout. Just have fun with it. These are some numbers that are in circles on the chipboard sticker sheet. I'm going to use a couple of those. Again, I reused some of the numbers more than once. I'm going to use that pink heart that I stuck on top of the photo on the right hand side. That's kind of like an epoxy puffy sticker. And then that little camera on top of it. I thought the camera was cute. There's several different kinds of cameras in this collection. I love that this collection is kind of generic. It's got flowers, it's got cameras, it's got numbers, it's got banners, it's got words, it's got leaves, it's got clouds, paintbrushes, it's got everything. And that's my kind of collection. I love those kinds of collections that just, you could make any style of layout that you want. You know, it's not necessarily locked into a certain theme, and I love that. So I decided to go up here at the top, added in some black thread, tucked it under the white cardstock, and then smudged in a couple of gelatos up there just to give it a little bit of something so it's not so white up there. And then I'm going to start to glue things down. Definitely going to glue my photo down. I know that that's not going to move. Yeah, I'm going to keep working on gluing things down. I like the way those banners look. So that's where they're going to go. And I love the different colors. The colors in this collection are great. I love the bold, bright, rich colors. More shimmers, more splatters. And I love how that black thread kind of tucked under the white cardstock. It looped and tangled for me just perfectly. So I go back to one of the papers that I used on the background here, and I'm going to pull out a scalloped border punch. I just kind of wanted to tuck some more random stuff over on the left, and I wanted it to have a kind of not just a straight torn edge. So I pulled out a couple of my border punches. I recently used some border punches on my last Hip Kit Club layout, and I forgot how awesome they are. I have a huge collection of border punches, and they're just collecting dust, and I'm thinking, why don't you use these things? They make great layering pieces, they make great textured pieces. So I just kind of randomly punched a couple of edges out of some paper, and I'm gonna just tuck them in these little torn side edged areas just because I wanted them there. No reason, just other than I liked it, and it was kind of random. Theme for today is random. Who knows? I just go with what strikes me at the time. And the more I go forward on this layout, the more I like it. And I need to embrace the whole idea of it's okay to be random, you know. It's okay if, like I said before, it's okay if something doesn't have a perfect explanation as to why you wanted to use it, other than you just wanted to use it. Kind of like my philosophy behind my tangled thread. I get asked quite a bit, you know, what's up with the thread? Why do you use that? I don't know. I just like it. There's no reason why. I had to add some more gesso in. I don't know. I just felt like doing it. Once again, I wanted to add a little bit of color variation on these pattern papers over here. So I just smudged a little gesso to kind of give a little bit of a lighter area here. And you can't even really tell up from the camera here. I did some stitching off camera. I used my sewing machine, black thread. I just did some messy stitching along those torn edges. And then now I'm going to make sure all the banners are glued down, because I didn't want to glue those down until I did the stitching. So I made sure that everything that was in the line of the stitching could come up, because otherwise I would stitch through it, and I didn't want to stitch through those numbers. And again, I love how the say cheese word bubble just kind of curves in between the 5 and the 1. I had to use it. I thought it was so adorable. I'm coming in with some black shimmers. This is called Night Moves. I get a lot of questions about that. That's Shimmers Colorings, and it's just your basic black. It's amazing, and I love it for black splatters. Now, these are some random stickers from my stash. These are probably from the clearance aisle at Hobby Lobby. They're just cheap, thin, black little letter stickers. And so I thought I would coordinate my title with all those numbers. And I was kind of thinking of something along the lines of, you know, how many reasons, or so many reasons, a million reasons why I love this girl. So I just made the title kind of small down at the bottom, so many reasons, and then I would continue explaining that in the journaling. So that kind of ties into the numbers as to, you know, why are all these numbers floating around? And I did want to finish a little cluster up at the top where I did that gelato smudging, and so I pulled one of the sunburst, starburst style with all the lines. It kind of matches the 9, a sticker, a heart sticker, and then I also found all these cute little plus signs or cross black stickers. They're real small. I thought that would make a cute little pop of black scattered around the page. And then I pulled a couple of chipboard phrases. I think the one under the heart says "my heart," and then one over to the right there says "smile." And this is a little tab. I think it says "captured," and it's got kind of a ombre rainbow color around it. And then puffy stickers, again, I'm just going to add a couple things to the little cluster up here at the top to pull in some more colors, the pink and the black. Yeah, everything looks cute. I love those enamel, or not enamel, they're kind of like a cross between epoxy and puffy stickers, but they're great. I really wanted to use one of those as my title, but I had so much going on. I kept the title really small because I felt like a big title would just send this over the edge, because it's already pretty busy, it's already pretty bold and bright, and there's a lot going on. So I kept the title to a minimum, because sometimes, you know, the title is your focal point, and sometimes the title doesn't even matter. Sometimes you don't even really need a title. I think we get locked into we have to have a title. And sometimes you can just make it small, you know. There's no rules that say you have to make it huge. I'm almost finished here. I'm going to add in some lines with a pencil and then use my fine tip Sharpie to write some journaling about the million reasons why I love my daughter. And there's the final layout. I love how this turned out. I had a lot of fun making it. I worked on it over the course of probably 3 days here and there. But it was fun to just get random and use this new collection. Vicki did a fantastic job creating this. It's awesome. So yeah, I hope you check it out. Let me know if you have any questions about any of the products that I used, or the techniques, or the paints, or anything, and I will be happy to answer you. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon in my next video. I hope you have a great weekend.